Yo, what up, good morning, GMG. Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. Look at that, another beautiful day to have a beautiful day. I got my co-host in the house, Tyler, Mando. Good morning, how you doing today?
GM, well, M today.
I like that. M, everyone. What up, guys? Tyler, how you doing today? Are you holding in there?
As good as possible, yeah. I mean, last night on crypto Twitter, I mean, it was like full on depression sentiment.
It was great this morning, though. It's all turned around this morning.
And we're depressed again.
We gotta fix the vibes.
The Canary Labs chat has been judging whether we would be conscripted to fight in a European war this morning.
Yeah. Oh, that's why you're all like doom texting. You think you're going to war?
Real in Europe. It's real, dude.
And $5 million, you can get a.
That's why you're.
Passport for the
Luckily, Portugal hasn't been in a war for.
Oh wait,
sat out both world wars actually.
So wait, if I have a French passport and a Canadian passport, I'm fucked. That means the French can use me as a.
Yeah, I don't know how it would work. If they got conscripted, I might have to go back. But I don't even know. I'm not even a citizen there anymore. So
don't worry, dude. The Portuguese have stayed out of all that stuff for a long time.
No, I'm glad to be at the edge of the world here.
Exactly.
No one cares. It's just like, oh, Portugal? Nah, not worth it.
It's the island all the way. I tell people, yeah, moving to Portugal. They're like, why? I'm like, that's exactly why.
Exact reason why.
They're like, wait, do they speak Spanish there? Yes, they do. That's exactly why I'm moving there.
Yeah, don't come.
That's literally I was talking to someone, I forgot who. And I was like, yeah, I'm moving to Portugal. And that person was like, damn, you speak Spanish? I'm like, yeah, totally. We speak Spanish there. Yeah. It's totally Spanish. It's like more people speaking French than Spanish in Portugal. But anyways, today on the show, today. All right, we're gonna talk about market, but we gotta talk about a lot. We gotta talk about macros. We gotta talk about Trumponomics. We gotta talk about trade war. We gotta talk about war. We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff. And we gotta get real here. We gotta talk about why Mando feels like he's about to go. I mean, at least Ovi's gonna get back in shape. You know, maybe that'll push him to get back in shape. We're gonna talk about that. Why Mando thinks he's going to war. Literally, Mando woke up and was like, I have to. It was so funny. Then we got Tyler. We're gonna do Tyler's top 1,000. There is still a lot of news coming in, like really a lot. And then no one today, but we do have a robot spin, so I want to see some retweets. I want to see some retweets on the show. We're gonna do a robot loot box spin, and then last but not least, this show is powered by Galaxy. Galaxy is a Web3 platform empowering creators and brands to build unstoppable communities with full ownership and independence, trusted by icons like Donald Trump, Steve Aoki, Mike Tyson, and the NBA, shaping together the future of engagement. But also, Wallet Connect. Wallet Connect is the connectivity network shaping the future of on-chain UX. If you've connected a Web 2, Web 3 app, you've seen Wallet Connect. That blue logo, it's everywhere. An icon of trust in crypto, as recognizable as Visa. Why not MasterCard? At checkout. Want to learn more? Follow Wallet Connect on X and Telegram to stay ahead of what is next. Mando, let's talk about this shit.
Who is the man, macro daddy of the land? Can you dig it?
GM. So yeah, it's a complete reversal of what we saw the day before. Second worst day ever for crypto yesterday, and to be honest, it's kind of just continued as the day's gone on. We hit kind of a low, or hitting kind of the lows right now of where things were. If I'm honest, like Bitcoin sank to around this level, around 82K, and it's 82.8. I think the main change here is that all of the oversold indicators we had a few days ago are not there anymore. So like Sol, because they all had that big wick up, like the RSI is actually like in like 35 area. So and whereas before it was at like 10 or whatever. Bitcoin's a little bit lower because I don't think it pumped as much, but actually no, Bitcoin's even higher. It's it's just basically like we don't look oversold here on those oversold indicators, which is kind of a little bit more worrying. Why are we selling off? Tariffs mainly. I felt like that was the thing, but also I don't know, a lot of accusations of like insiders on those coins. It is kind of crazy that all of those coins are down like lower essentially than where they were before the announcements were made. But the tariffs thing is probably the main one. You had some not great economic data yesterday. And then it feels as though tariffs are going to be met with retaliation from allies, really, from Mexico, Canada, EU's signaling it'll do the same, China signaling it'll do the same, and this could push like a global slowdown. The Canada central bank came out today and said if we go through tariffs, we could head towards a recession. Interestingly, the Atlanta Fed came out yesterday and said they think Q1 GDP could contract by over 2%. So it is quickly descended into, which I think people thought that like the Canada-Mexico thing had maybe been resolved to a certain extent, or like wasn't going to flare up.
It was paused until April 2nd. That was what was said, and then it was brought forward to today, actually.
Right, exactly. And it felt as though, a month ago we were on the show basically saying, look, yeah, they're going to strike some sort of deal. It doesn't make sense to. And there was the deal about the border security and all this sort of stuff, and then flared up again. This is on the back of obviously Trump not making that in Europe. The situation in Europe is slightly destable. That's what I would say. It was getting more unstable. If you don't know, you might know quite a lot about Europe, but like there's a lot of like regional conflicts which are kind of unresolved, and like we've had 80 years of peace. And if Trump leaves NATO, I do think there's a chance that like some of this stuff could flare up. And that's even today. There was stuff in like the Serbian parliament. Serbia would be like the main areas that like the Balkans area. There's obviously this some of those are aligned with Russia actually, but there's been a lot of unresolved tension for a long time ever since the wars there. You have the Baltic area, part of the Baltic, Latvia and Estonia both have around 25% of their population speak Russian, right? Similarly, Moldova has Russian speakers, just like with Ukraine. And then there's like smaller random ones, like Poland and Belarus, for example, are like completely at odds, and that could flare up. So like, if somehow, and this is after decades of Europe not spending on defense, like, yes, it's all 100% true that the US has basically been the defender of Europe and kind of kept stuff in check. But if that is gone, I do think that like there's a chance stuff could flare up. I think in general, people are saying that all over the world. Like I'm just going to throw some theoreticals in here for like a US audience, but if Venezuela invaded Suriname, or if Kosovo flared up again, or if Russia decided it wanted to take parts of Estonia, or if Turkey and Greece flared up, they've had historic tensions before, Azerbaijan and Armenia. Like these are all like regional small tensions, which like aren't really on the radar for a lot of the US, but they are in those regions. And I think people are suddenly just been like, oh my God, like the US doesn't care after what happened with Russia, with Ukraine last week, which is, that's the kind of the prerogative. It's like, we don't want to get involved in foreign wars. But what that does mean is a lot of the world is just suddenly freaking out. Yeah. And going like, wow, some of this stuff could, sorry, it was Venezuela and Guyana. Yeah, I said it wrong. And I don't think the EU really wants to or feels like it should get involved anymore. And at the same time, it's kind of courting bigger powers, bigger powers which traditionally have been slightly more adversarial. So that's the general sense I'm just getting. Like it's just that there's just a lot more uncertainty, a lot more uncertainty. I think globally, both in terms of economics, but also politics. Europe is rearming. They said they would spend 800 billion on arms yesterday.
Wow.
Right.
We should be longing fucking these like companies. What is it? Arms dealers.
Yeah, so the UK and European defense companies all rallied massively yesterday after that sort of stuff. But I guess I'm not looking for the trade. I'm just saying that suddenly everyone's just like, oh God, like stuff could happen now with like, and again, it points to bigger ones, which may have an economic impact on the US, would be like Taiwan, where a lot of the chips are made, that sort of stuff. Like, if the US doesn't care about regional, or is basically saying that it's not going to care, and this may culminate in them leaving NATO, it seems definitely on the cards. Definitely on the cards, but it's also with tariffs in general, like it's fighting with its allies. I think suddenly the world just got more uncertain, and this is also at a time where like you are having some weakness in the general economy, not like terrible, but enough that it would be that it could wobble. Now I don't know. Like, to me, this kind of feels like a multi-year potential pump and dump. Like, sorry, dump then pump. Like, is Trump going to do this and then force QE in a year and have all these massive tax breaks? And like, maybe the first year of the Trump presidency is like, yeah, we're going to fuck shit up. We're going to fuck up the world order here and see what happens. And the second half is like, you know, we're going to push through a lot of positive stuff. But like, it kind of feels a little bit like that to me. And for crypto in particular, like, I think the crypto community has actually turned a little bit on, or maybe not on Trump, but on the Trumps. I think there's a lot of positive stuff that's been done for crypto by this administration. But like some of the ways it's been done and like perceived rifts have kind of rubbed people up the wrong way. So I think, and people just don't trust the announcement. You know, like when you see an announcement like that yesterday, where it's like, oh my God, like crypto reserve, and then everything just gets dumped, and like there's just like weird stuff going on. It just suddenly feels like, oh, we're just like a plaything almost here, and I don't think people like that.
Yeah, 100%. It's definitely not great. Like, obviously, like the markets are very secondary here. It seems like Trump wants to. I mean, we talked about it this morning, but on the show we didn't. It's just like it feels like he wants to come and like break everything that has been, and obviously breaking everything comes with its cost, and the cost is the market. And sadly, we all are operating in a high risk asset market. So usually these are the ones that get slapped the hardest, and where the volatility is insane. I mean, my bags are down. And so definitely hurts markets. So for people who are wondering like, yo, why are our bags down? Or, oh, like we're only down because I don't know, like, oh, Donald Trump, like they'll say something March 7th, they'll bring it up, maybe, but it maybe they daily candle like that. And you're wondering why we had the best day in the history of crypto followed by the second worst day in the history of crypto. It's because there are bigger things at play here that are political. There's a trade war going on. There's obviously all these like scares of like, you know, Russia, Ukraine, USA backing out of the, you know, the world pretty much. What we were talking about this morning, but like since World War II, I don't think we've seen a precedent like that, right? Because I think since World War II, like USA got very involved with the world politics, you know, after obviously like, you know, saving Europe essentially. And then they've kind of been on top of that forever. Ironically, I feel like in the last 10 years, I've only remembered people saying that they want the USA to stop having such a hold on the world and stop being the leader of the free world or acting like it and want to back away. And now they are actually saying like, yo, we're out. And so naturally that'll break a lot of things. And I actually understand the skepticism and the stress that this offloads. This is like, it's like saying, it's like the police backing away and saying like, yo, y'all figure it out, right? Tyler, like, what's your thoughts on what's happening at the moment?
Yeah, it's happening very quickly. I think there's a lot of destabilizing happening. There's a lot of uncertainty. I think that's certainly a big part of why markets are down. Markets hate uncertainty. I've been just trying to figure out, like, so like, what is Trump's plan? Like, why is he doing this? Because like, I think it's pretty clear that he cares about his net worth. Specifically, I think even Trump fans would say like this man cares about his wealth. And I mean, he's going to be impacted by this And a month or year long recession is not going to paint a good legacy for him in any kind of way. And I do think he also cares about his approval rating. And the longer it goes, the more it impacts Republican chances in the midterm cycle, which is not that far away. It's like we're talking like a year and a half, right? So like I've been trying to understand, because like these tariff games, I mean, I don't think they're games, and they're things that can have very, very long impacts. Now, it doesn't even feel like we've started to really feel the impacts.
Yeah. I mean, look at the latest news, right? This is just in 7 minutes ago. Trump says if companies move to the United States, there are no tariffs. So I feel like when you ask what the plan is, it's a very US-centric plan, obviously. But, you know, I don't know. I can't tell like what the
Is
end
this
game's
approval
gonna be,
rating going down? Sorry, like
I know, I think
does it
it's-
feel like it's turning in the US? I feel like
No.
a lot of this stuff is pro-US, so like it's not that is.
So actually, Chamath wrote something pretty good about it yesterday, saying that Trump is actually really popular amongst like the younger crowd and unpopular amongst the older institutional crowd. And he was kind of like trying to explain here. Let me bring it up. That was a good take. Not that I agree or disagree with it. I think it's a fair take. He says Trump is more popular with young people than old people. Most young people don't own stocks or homes, aka they are asset light. Trump is also more popular amongst working and middle class folks. Most of these folks are also asset light. It stands to reason that a fall in asset prices, stocks down, or home prices down have very little impact on his core constituents. To that end, I won't be surprised if Trump has little reaction then to an equity or home price market correction. Separately, the upside of shrinking these assets prices is that it gives the folks mentioned above a legitimate chance to buy in those markets at lower levels, making equity ownership and or home ownership more possible. Tangentially, if Trump figures out how to get rents lower, he will unite young people and asset-light working people into a reliable voting bloc for the foreseeable future. He will have given them the trifecta: cheaper stocks, cheaper homes, lower rents. Said differently, don't presume that the stock market going up is a useful barometer anymore. In fact, it's going down. Maybe a better signal for his popularity. Time will tell. So he's actually making the case that
Very good point.
it's actually a good point. Because you went there, right, Mando? And I thought that was the best answer to your question.
Well,
Tyler, what do you
I
think?
think it's
Go ahead,
his
Mando.
approval rating sorry, his approval rating isn't going right. Like, and I do think there's a chance that. Sorry, there is a chance that this does lead to a like the housing market could reprice here, which I think actually is pretty popular, definitely among certain demographics. So yeah, it's I think he like this play by Trump. I don't know if he'll lose that many voters, at least in the US, but what I do think it does lead to more turmoil throughout the world. That's just what I think.
It's a tough one. I saw that take initially. I thought it made sense, but again, like I don't know that crashing markets and housing so that younger people get a better entry is going to bode well. Like, sure, maybe it bodes well for Zoomers for a very specific niche, but like there's going to be pretty massive fallout from that. So I don't really, I can't imagine that's his actual strategy. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just going to lean into the Zoomer base. And
no, it's not just Zoomers, right? It's also middle working class, which is a large part of America, right? That's what he's saying. But yes, you're right. It's
maybe. I mean, I will say on the opposite side of this. So I graduated college in 2007, and I entered the workforce in 2008, which is when the last recession hit.
Jesus.
And it didn't impact me personally. It's like I was able to keep my job, and so I was actually at that point in time, I was happy that assets were going down because I was just starting to invest for the first time. So I do see that perspective because I have lived through it to a degree. And certainly I would feel as most 22-year-olds probably don't care that markets are crashing.
Yeah. Logan makes a point.
Yeah.
He says, is it expected that a drop in prices is going to prompt people who don't invest in assets to now invest in assets? I don't know. I'm not professional. I don't think I have an answer to that. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Actually, you know what? Like, if prices drop far enough, I have been thinking personally, I guess I'll speak for myself. The more real estate crashes, the more I'm like, hey, maybe one day, maybe I'm finally just going to put money into a hard asset. So me personally, yeah, maybe a little bit. But I don't know for you guys. But For the first time ever, I'm like, wow, I'm maybe gonna be able to like just buy a cheap home because it's got crazy in Canada. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I guess I closed on a house yesterday, so I don't.
There
I'm
you
not
go.
rooting for it to.
Well,
to-
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
I saw the boxes when you changed your camera angle behind it on the other side of you, on your right, right? This guy's got a house full of boxes. That's gonna be me soon. Anyway, so look, I don't know if we have anything else to touch on that. I mean, we went, I think, around the horn. I think there's a lot of uncertainty, and I think by even if you listen to the show a lot, if you listen to this conversation, you can understand why the markets are shaky, right? Like nobody knows what the future holds from a macro and trade war perspective.
My ability to predict crypto is almost at zero at the moment. Like,
Yeah, it feels very
like,
hard.
it went bam, bam. It went bam, bam, bam.
Hey,
Like,
don't you dare dump your Sonic bags on me, okay?
No.
Yeah, so let's talk about that for a minute. 'Cause I do think yesterday's dump was a big shift
talk about
in
it.
sentiment, because I think that there was some hope that perhaps that was like the 30% correction in Bitcoin, and 78K was the
That was
low,
insane.
and now we're going to rally back. And seeing the best day ever get wiped out in the
Right
second
there.
worst day ever, and now many of the tokens are lower. Than
It
they
went,
were.
I mean, Bitcoin went even lower than that best day ever.
Yeah. I think that hurt sentiment, but I think that the bigger factor is people still digesting the XRP and ADA strategic reserve announcement, and just like pure on crony capitalism and like crime effectively at the highest level, and those assets not having the merit to be in a strategic reserve. And
They
I think
shouldn't.
that's what's really sent shockwaves from the people who don't necessarily sweat near-term price action as much. They are more upset about that, and I get it. So I feel like that's where we really need clarity. Ideally, this Friday.
I think that'll come Friday as well. It's true. I mean, you had Brian Armstrong yesterday. We quoted him. You also have Cameron Winklevoss that came out about this, and a lot of the bigger founders and leaders of the space. And I think they're right. Like the strategic reserve effectively should honestly just be Bitcoin. And I think it's hard to disagree with that. Right? Like I think that's like consensus here. It's not even a hot take anymore to say the strategic reserve thing with all the basket of coins is a bad idea on the timeline. So
it's tough. I mean, it's tough to. I mean, there's strong cases against not holding any assets in the strategic reserve. So
yeah,
I'll be very curious how they mention how like the sovereign wealth fund ties into this, because I think it gets a little bit, it lightens the news a little bit if a sovereign wealth fund is going to invest in these assets, and then we see how that's funded.
Yeah,
still another factor in all this.
Yeah, look at these. They're all retraced. You know what's crazy though? Yesterday I was like just late night, just going through every chart a little bit. And you know how we always say like, in case of the like the market's down, zoom out. So I zoomed out, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these zoomed out charts looks like fucking trash. And that's not even like, let's just be objective here. If you zoom out on Ethereum on a weekly basis, this is one mega lower high. And if it goes sub 1500, which I pray to God this doesn't happen, it's going to put a lower low on the zoom out. Like, you know how you say like, hey, zoom out? Like on this dip, it will zoom out. I zoomed out. Did you buy this? Like if this was a meme coin, you buy this, Mando. Like, what if this? I was playing for fun yesterday. I was just like drawing lines, like just to myself, just doom and glooming on my own, right? And I'm looking at this, I'm like, what if this just chops to 2027? Like, have you guys zoomed out on most of these charts? The only chart zoomed out on the weekly that looks good is Bitcoin. Look at this. Have you seen this? That's zoomed out Bitcoin. This is zoomed out Ethereum. And even Solana is like, oh, thanks to Trump, actually, managed to put a higher high. Matt, you muted, by the way. I don't know if you said something. You are saying, I mean, I figured you're trying to say something.
Yeah, I just said USDT looks good. Bring up the stock market though. That's the other thing. Like this is we've already sold off. I think people probably don't quite understand.
Do you want me to bring up the S&P or NASDAQ?
Yeah, S&P is probably fine.
What, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month?
1 day is fine. But they probably just don't understand like in the context,
Oh my
like
goodness gracious. Yeah.
there's quite a lot to go if that goes.
Mhm.
And I would say this is more, yeah, this has like some impact on crypto, right? But this feels more like a potential breakdown in multinational corporations that I would be more worried about, right? Like, so like,
Yeah.
yeah, like I would be more focused on the S&P 500 and where that is going
Yeah.
than a lot of other things right now.
I saw St. Paul post something about the S&P getting it. That's your homie, right? SPX just took out his low, opening the way for a more sustained downturn.
That's what I mean. Like, stocks have just broken. I mean, they broke that. Remember, they broke that support level. What was it, about a few weeks ago? And that was around the time of the tariffs, and then it felt like they were going to be reversed, and everything was going to be okay. This does really affect them. So
there's a question here in the chat, Mando. Isn't crypto the first to sell off though, or do you expect even bigger pullbacks even if we sold off earlier?
yeah, so I don't know, because I don't think like the real sell-offs that you've had in crypto. You know, crypto wasn't around in 2008. So like the actual like recession sell-off, I don't even know when the US has had a recession, right? We didn't really have one in 2022, although we came close, although it was like a technical recession. But like nothing compares to like a recession. And then you had COVID, right?
Yeah.
And when COVID got going, it was very violent, and then it rebounded. I don't know how crypto reacts in the case of like a period where stocks sell off for, you know, a few months. COVID was like the perfect crash in some ways. It's just like a V shape. Like, oh my god, did you buy the dip? That sort of thing. I actually there'd be no evidence, so I don't know. Crypto did sell off first, but then if the S&P goes down another 10%, it's very difficult to know. I would bet that Bitcoin does better, but then altcoins are already down like 80%. But like, it's so difficult to know. Like,
and we even still get good headlines. I mean, literally like 10 minutes ago again, like White House announces support for the CRA to rescind the so-called broker DeFi rule, an 11th hour attack on the crypto community by the Biden administration, per David Sachs. Like, it's just like,
that's great. That was the thing that happened on Christmas. Remember they
I remember the last DeFi
thing.
rule. But the point being is, I mean, I am permeable, but by the way, why did my name reset? It used to say Farouk Permeable. I'm gonna put it back. What the fuck? This is insane. But point being, like, you know, when the coast will be clear, it'll be really good. But for now, everybody, you're gonna have to hold on to your undies, and you have to focus, and preserve as much money as you can, and just keep at it. Like, there's no. I know this is usually like bear market talk, whatever, but this is just the truth. Like, you have to prepare for everything. We spent 30 minutes on the show right now just talking about this. There's a reason for that, right? We didn't even get to the topics yet. Because people have to prepare for times like this. And I feel like you come to the show to not just hear, hey, we're going to keep going up. You got to hear the truth. Like, the market is in shambles because there's bigger powers at play. And crypto is just, we tend to make crypto such an important role in the planet, in this industry, because we're in a bubble. But crypto is just literally like a little fart box next to the S&P and all these things, right? So, I mean, and NVIDIA is like the market cap of the entirety of crypto, and that's one company, you know? So just, just gotta believe and
plan for it, right? It makes sense. I mean, the S&P is down 5% from an all-time high.
It's really
I'm a permeable with you, Farouk.
Yeah.
I think most of my bullish crypto takes, and like, oh, we're top of the first, is more just on a longer term. Like, now we have a crypto-friendly administration. But like, if the S&P corrects 25% in the next 3 months, like, everything's gonna go lower. Like, let's just be honest about it, right? Like, that has to be how this would play out if we see that type of correction. And stocks have been priced at perfection. To steal like Peter Jennings' terms, basically priced at perfection, all-time highs every week, and now Europe is destabilizing. And like, there's like, the entire world order feels unstable now.
You want another sign of bear market? Okay, we're not in a bear market. I don't think we're in a bear market. Do you guys think we're in a bear market? I did a poll yesterday. I asked people. I think But I did like bear market, bull market, or I'm tired, boss, and obviously 50% saying I'm tired, boss. We're probably at that cusp, which is like we need more data to see where we're going.
I think Minno's muted again, maybe, but I
What do you
feel
say,
like
sorry?
I thought you were chatting Minno.
No.
We were just talking about, are we in a bear market or not? I just feel like everyone has this crypto bear market mindset where it's 2.5 years and Bitcoin drops 80%. And like, I think it could be a bear market without that, right? It could be a smaller correction.
I think it's tough to argue that we're not hitting bear market for altcoins, right? Like it's pretty horrific. I don't know if that's for the broader crypto market, but what's crypto down now? Like 25% Bitcoin. It doesn't. It's just tough because like I think a lot of people would still class this as like a feeling like a bear market. Just kind of like this to me feels like what it felt around FTX and around some of these other really, really bad sell-offs. So sentiment's definitely there at that level.
I'm looking at December 15th, crypto was 3.7 trillion. It's 2.7 trillion today. So that's a proper 30% pullback from high. Like it's like what are even like the objective definitions?
I think it would have to be, I don't know, what correction is normally 10% in most markets. Like we've obviously smashed through a correction.
Definitely.
I don't know what a bear market like it's classified as. Like maybe it's around 30% that we start to
What is that big? There's this big Bitcoiner that wrote. I'm trying to find this. You know the guy that moved all his Bitcoin, like he's a Bitcoin maxi big trader that moved all his Bitcoin to ETFs and made a lot of noise. I can't find it, but he made a pretty good thesis on that. Like his indicators are all bull market for now, and he's waiting on some data on Bitcoin to like be able to see where he flips. So, anyways,
20% for bear market. You know that feels a little low.
I mean we're already down more than that, right?
30.
Oh shit! Fuck. Anyways, hang on to your undies, lads. With that, I think let's go to the topics. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of great stuff, including Kanye West asking to meet Ansem. So I, it's don't worry about the trade war. Kanye West asked to meet Ansem, guys. We're
God bless.
For daily NFT and crypto analysis. Tolerity on FOMO hour cause the kids can't miss.
Ready to bash the bears. Yeah, we've been talking about it, but more tariff news, broad weakness in the stock markets have pulled down crypto majors another 10% or so. Alts down even more. We got news out of Bybit. The Bybit hackers have now successfully laundered over $1 billion of ETH via Thorchain, with 83% of that converted into Bitcoin. Though one perhaps positive here, 77% of the funds are still traceable. So that piece is good. The SEC, they closed investigations into Yuga Labs and Kraken yesterday. Their two latest high-profile case drops. So that was positive. A new crypto caucus is being spun up to help support crypto innovation in the U.S. NASDAQ filed with the SEC to list and trade Grayscale Hedera ETF. The UFC signed a sponsorship deal with VeChain. VeChain still around.
I think they've had that for a while, right?
Oh, I just saw the news break yesterday.
Or maybe it's new, but yeah, VeChain's been everywhere in sports.
Yeah, makes sense. And then Snoop Dogg, kind of a fun headline here. Snoop Dogg is partnered with a Web3 music platform,
Music NFTs.
Tune.fm, after a dispute with Spotify. He said he doesn't fuck with Spotify anymore. He's rolling with Tune.fm. In token airdrop and protocol news, Zora revealed token airdrop plans, with that Zora token coming on base this spring. Hinlow did its airdrop on Berachain for eligible users. It briefly reached 100 million. Fell to 25 million fairly quickly. Mega ETH announced its public testnet will be deployed March 6th for builders, March 10th for users. Hyperliquid announced mainnet validators will become fully permissionless after the next upgrade. A few other headlines here. AI, it was down quite a bit. Most leaders down 20 to 30% or more. Virtuals is powering Robots.fun, a new launchpad for robotics AI. I think that could be perhaps a new subsector of this broader AI market is the robotics piece. And then in NFTs, the big piece of news was out. SuperRare Huge announcement. They announced a new focus on curation, streamlined rare token staking, including a partnership with Transient Labs, and then a launch of a private sales team to go find more real world collectors for digital artists. So I think if you are an artist, you got to be pretty happy about that.
Yeah. This is great. You know what's funny about the Thorchain stuff with the launderers? I can't find the tweet anymore. I'm pretty sure, I'm like scrolling. I'm pretty sure that one of the founders of Thorchain was like, so the day after the hack, like this guy was like boasting like volumes like rising on Thorchain. And I remember someone like quote tweeting it like, yeah, that's North Korea. And like 2 weeks later, it turns out it's like, it's so funny, this Thorchain guys. Like they're always like, yeah,
it wasn't the founder. I think it was just a community member.
Yeah,
but yeah.
community member. You know what I mean, Mando, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't the founder, but the founder shared it or some shit.
Well, I think somebody quote retweeted them and said, "This is just crime."
Yeah, okay. So it wasn't a founder. Sorry, I retract in case there's like a 10-second clip that comes out of this shit. Like, cause you know they clip like just retracting. But I thought that was hilarious. Like someone's like, "Yeah, Thorchain is seeing all-time high volumes." It was like literally like the day after the hack.
So I think this has been going on for ages, though, right? Thorchain's been.
Oh, we got some news from Zelensky here.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
Zelensky says he's ready to work under Trump's strong leadership to bring peace. Sorry, just go ahead. But since we're talking about all this war shit 2 seconds ago, I think it's important.
It's important.
It is important. Yeah, 3 minutes ago. So we'll see. Have you thanked your president today?
Oh, God.
That is the best meme.
I have to say, the JD Vance meme is really funny. I'm not fucking this.
It's so good.
I have to say, it's really funny, man. Like, oh man. Have you thanked? Is there president in? I never checked. Is there president in Portugal? Prime minister? How does king? Like, how does it work there?
Yeah, there's a president and a prime minister.
So is the president important or prime? Okay, so you guys, because to us it's prime here because we have the king. Sorry, King Charles.
Yeah, it's got two.
Have you thanked your king today? Okay. Anyways, not to cite.
Too close to reality there.
Too close to reality. We've seen some relief in the order books here. Solana went from 135 to 136.
Yeah, shorts getting wrecked. Live on air.
Yeah.
On this Bybit news, is there a silver lining in this Bybit news? Maybe this is just me hopium. I want to try to flip positive.
Give us the hopium. Come on.
So ETH has been underperforming.
Yes.
Bitcoin and Sol in this downturn. I mean, is it just literally because the North Korean hackers just converted $1 billion of ETH into Bitcoin?
Is that what that Look on-chain wallet was or not? Because there was also a wallet that moved like an absurd amount of Ethereum yesterday to sell.
I mean, that's a lot of bonus sell pressure, right? Like, and we didn't know like how quickly they were going to be doing it. And now the reports are that 83% of $1.4 billion has already been converted from ETH to Bitcoin.
No, but there's also this. Check this out. A whale wallet with over 110,000 ETH, $235 million appears to be selling ETH. In the past 14 hours, this wallet has transferred 30,000 ETH to Falcon X and Galaxy Digital and received 7.76 million USDC from Falcon X. The wallet may be related to Genesis Trading. So there's also this.
Yeah, which is, I mean, and that's 60 million. I'm talking about $1 billion.
No. It's 200 million that they have to sell.
They have, yeah.
So you also are talking about $1 billion. So yeah,
but, yeah. I mean, this is a lot. But my silver lining with the Bybit is maybe they're.
Are you longing ETH, Tyler?
We're done selling. I'm just looking for any reasons that our assets are going to stop going to zero actively.
I mean, ETH does affect a lot of our assets because NFTs are all like mostly on ETH. I don't know, Mando. What do you think? Do you think ETH is oversold?
Just stop answering that question ever.
I know we stopped.
That's not where I was going. I was just going like, is that perhaps one of the reasons why
it's
performing? And now that reason is gone. It doesn't mean it's going to bounce back.
We got a good bounce right now happening. Hopefully it sustains. I considered buying Solana last night when it was on 131. I didn't because I was scared. That's how the state of the market. I was scared to buy spot. Not even leverage.
Yeah.
But the more this Zelensky shit gets figured out, the whole Ukraine-Russia thing, the more we're going towards a relief, hopefully, because that removes the whole war terror. But
he's being kind of nondescript. He was saying this from the start, right? He would only sign it if you get security guarantees.
Yeah, he wanted security guarantees, money, and a bunch of stuff. That's what Lutnick was
and
saying
he's
this
not
morning, right?
saying it. He said he'll sign it, but like he wants security guarantees. I
Yeah.
think that's
That's
kind
what
of his
Lutnick was talking about on TV, right? This morning. Was it Lutnick or Bissett? Yeah, it was Lutnick saying that there was some stuff that they wanted. I forgot who was talking about it. Anyways, Tyler, what else you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, the Zora news was pretty big. I think a decent amount of folks, probably more so on the art side of the house, have used Zora. It's a popular platform for additions, specifically low cost. So we got some more details around the token. 10 billion tokens coming on base spring 2025. Interesting tokenomics here: 10% for the airdrop, 20% for ongoing community incentives. It seemed like that 30% is pretty much the core community part, around 65%. For the team, treasury, and contributors. So a bit heavier on that side than sometimes we'll see. It looks like the first snapshot is already in. There is another snapshot coming soon. I'd say if someone is interested in perhaps becoming eligible, that the actions are to go sign up at Zora.co if you haven't already. And then
A lot of you have
triggered
interacted with
over on
Zora,
the
so
platform.
just check. Yeah, a lot of you have interacted with Zora, myself included. So if you've minted probably Jack Butcher's work, you've interacted with Zora as well. Some of all his additions lately were Zora on base.
Oh yeah. Oh, I
All
have
of them.
used Zora.
You have used Zora, bro. All of Jack Butcher's stuff, all of these massive additions on base are Zora. All of them. I'm pretty sure the X copy one was as well. That insect one. I mean, Zora has been powering NFTs on base. Like they are the provider of it. I mean, I like that team. They always like pivot right. It seems like they've been trying to make like a lot of not exchanges. Sorry, what's the term for exchanges? Marketplaces for NFTs have only shut down. Even Maker's Place most recently, you saw that, and et cetera, or pivoted. Foundation became Rodeo, which is a social app. It's actually doing pretty well. I actually like what Kayvon's doing. But point being, like Zora's also always found a way to pivot properly. It seems like they have Jesse's full support in base team, so they have like hardcore support. Zora's probably gonna get Coinbase day one, by the way, Tyler.
Yeah.
So there's something there. Hopefully it's PVE season and he pulls a Kaido. So we'll see. Where's Kaido at actually? In this downturn, I'm curious how Kaido's holding up.
It's been falling.
I mean, obviously, but like I'm wondering, like, is it falling like more than the rest, or is it 155? I mean, that's bound to happen, but it's still 155. Like it's a $1.5 billion coin. So shout out to them. Anyways, all right, Tyler, what else do we have?
One lighter story, but I think it's fun and it
we
could
need that.
matter, was this Snoop Dogg story. So I wrote about it for the newsletter this morning. He announced a partnership with Tune.fm, which is blockchain-based music streaming service. This is him stepping away from Spotify to a degree. He hasn't fully cut ties. He still has a lot of music on Spotify.
It's on Hedera.
It is on Hedera. So on HBAR, their differentiator here is they offer real-time payments.
Wow.
On their platform using their native token as Jam token.
Look at that. It's the Montreal Canadiens jersey.
You seen this
TK
Ontario
Subban.
news?
What?
Ontario is implementing a 25% export tax on electricity to the US, impacting 1.5 million homes in Minnesota, Michigan, and New York.
Yeah, I know one of our homies fucked.
That's wild. Huh?
Yeah. I mean, Ontario and Quebec. So Quebec also was said like, yo, I'll go to war against Trump, like the prime minister yesterday. And Quebec also provides a fuck ton of electricity. Because we have the biggest water resources in the world, right? Clear water, that is. Fresh water, clear, whatever it is. Anyways, let's get back to we're talking about something lighter, Mando. Okay, we're talking about music NFTs on Hedera. Okay.
Sorry, let's get back to that.
Yeah, thank you, Mando. For 1 second, let's not talk about the fucking war. Man, okay, for God's sakes, indeed. All right, Tyler, back to you, Tyler.
Well, interestingly enough, Snoop's Tune.fm partnership will include NFT-backed music ownership. So music NFTs are on the table, folks. Exclusive fan experiences, giveaways, and collectibles. That their CEO went on the record, said Snoop is the OG pioneer, always on the cutting edge of technology. So like this is not his Snoop's first venture into Web3. I think folks certainly remember like his metaverse plans back from 2022.
I mean, he was active as fuck. I've interviewed him like 3 times.
He was a reg guy.
He was a reg guy. He bought a reg guy. He minted a reg guy.
No, he didn't. He bought it in secondary.
Oh, he bought it. So he bought a reg guy back then. He had his whole Kazamo Snoop Dogg joke that was running. Like he's been I actually went to his studio once. Smoked a blunt there. That was nice. That's 2021 was fun for me because like got to do some cool shit.
It was lighter.
Yeah, it was nice. I got to hang out with Champ a lot, his son. They're tapped in. They for what's worth, out of all the celebrities that bought Bored Apes, he still has it. He still rocks the whole Bored Ape pendant. Like they still rock with the apes big time, like
Yeah.
big time. Unlike a lot of celebrities that came in and left, right? So Snoop is the GOAT, man. He's done a lot of music NFTs before. He sold a lot of songs to NFTs as well. Death Row Records, when he bought it back, I'm pretty sure there's a whole Web3 component to that, by the way.
Mhm.
Yeah, there is.
There's a whole thing to that. So they actually do, like, him and his entourage actually they're tapped into the whole industry. I just haven't spoken to them since 2022 or 3, but I know tapped.
Yeah.
I'll never
I mean,
forget
of course, like,
being smoking
disrupting
out in the sun.
Spotify and other streaming services is a mammoth task, right?
Mhm.
And I don't know if Tune is going to be the company that figures it out, but there is something here, right? Like real-time micropayments enabled by the blockchain, all verifiable, all transparent. Like, I think we've seen artists upset with how they're compensated from streaming services like Spotify. So, shout out to them for at least attempting it. So one to watch.
Yeah, 100%. I'll never forget Snoop coming on a show and being like, "What the fuck is Rug Radio?" And I was like, "Oh shit, that was funny." All right, well, there's that. Speaking of apes, yesterday, cracking news came in during the show that the SEC is dismissing their case, and then followed by the dismissal of a 3-year investigation on Yuga Labs as well. So I think this is because all this previous precedent were for exchanges or crypto companies. This is the first precedent that we have for an NFT company. So I think it's worth noting for us here in our audience. So after 3+ years, the SEC has officially closed its investigation into Yuga Labs. This is a huge win for NFTs and all creators pushing our ecosystem forward. NFTs are not securities. I, for one, celebrated that and think that's very fucking good for our industry.
Yeah, big news. I mean, I don't know. There's a whole lot more to unpack than what they announced right here, but I think everyone can breathe a little bit more sigh of relief. Sucks Yuga had to be the one fighting the fight, right? I'm sure it was very expensive.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can all move on.
Hopefully they drop CyberKongz next, which is probably gonna happen. No, that was the last one to get attacked by the Biden administration. That was like very last inning.
They had like the most Ponzi stuff of anyone, right? Like with Banana.
Yeah, but you know, when you think about it, like I think
I'm not saying they were security. I'm just saying that like that one.
Yeah, because they were yielding tokens, right? So technically speaking, you could think about it that way. Fuck, CyberKongz were like 100 ETH, remember?
200 ETH. That was the peak floor.
What? Do you remember Proof Collective Pass?
Yes.
But like point being, like I think like so when you think about it from the board, why I'm happy Yuga Labs won. So Yuga Labs issued NFTs, collectibles, made money with it. But that was kind of like a race to build a company. So then they built a company off that. Then they, the foundation, ApeCoin, launched a token, right? Whatever. They adopted it. We know how that works. There's only one reason we have to do this in this industry is because the previous administration, right? Point being, launched a token. The other side meant some people could have considered this as some sort of a raise or whatever, right? Because that was an absurd amount of money that they raised to build this metaverse. But it's not, right? It's still a collectible. And so I think it's really good precedent for the company, for the industry that they won, because that clears a lot of pathway. Because Yuga has tried a lot of different things. And if all of it is dismissed, then that's good, right? As a whole. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
So we'll see what happens then. So this is good. I'm just hyped, dude. Like on the founder level, like I'm really happy because every time some things like this happens, I send to Locks, our CEO, and I'm like, dude, like we can do so much more than we think. So it's good. I'm really happy we've been waiting. This clarity is getting better. I know the market sucks, but
there's still positives. Yeah,
I'm positive as a founder because I can do much more, dude. Like for Myriad now, like I'm like, wow, like the coast is so clear for me to just try shit and just do dope stuff. Like, I don't know. Could be fun. I mean, I don't know. Anyways, rafflebot.xyz. We'll go through one more topic, maybe just so we can get you guys the raffle. Sorry, rafflebot.xyz. Rafflebot.xyz. Every Tuesday to Friday, shout out to Robit. We do a robot spin, and everybody wins. There's always someone winning. You come on the stage, you win something 100%. So rafflebot.xyz. The code is candle. 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 So while you guys enter quickly, did you guys see this news, Tyler?
What else happened?
Ricardo Salinas, net worth of $5.8 billion, allocates 70% of his portfolio to Bitcoin.
It's huge.
I think he's smart.
I don't think billionaires are storing their net worth in Bitcoin because they think this industry is all going to zero.
Yeah. Did you see Nate Geraci's point? So the way the way BlackRock is selling it now is if every millionaire in America tries to buy one Bitcoin, there's not enough Bitcoin.
Like it. It's a good pitch.
It's one of the best pitches out there, right?
It's the best
Like-
pitch.
Like right now, if you think that we're about to maybe go through a trade war, maybe certain regional wars flaring up, like it's tough to argue you don't want to own Bitcoin. Imagine you owned a multinational right now and you're like, what can I hedge?
Bitcoin only.
You want to own stocks.
No,
You own
Bitcoin.
gold and maybe Bitcoin.
just Bitcoin. I just want Bitcoin. I should have bought the lows of 78K and just like logged off and worked forever. This is how I feel about this whole thing. I mean, 82K is not that far from 78K, so I could do it now, but just Bitcoin. Bitcoin is so comfy. Like even that last drop.
Yeah, but it could still go a lot lower. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm just saying that it will always rebound.
I mean, we could definitely revisit that 75K mark again. I guess March 7th, we'll see what happens, but I don't know. Like let's keep our expectations low so that we can get surprised on Friday.
Very low.
Because good news into a low volatility Friday could be pretty nice. I mean, personally, I love the genius of announcing a strategic reserve on a Sunday when traditional markets are closed and Wall Street sleeps. For the first time, retail investors win. Traditional finance better catch up or it will quickly become extinct. The world no longer runs a Monday to Friday, 9 to 5.
I love that. It's so good.
I think this is my favorite copy pasta in the history of crypto.
Yeah.
Like, I think this has become, it's my favorite one above the, in case of, I may have to turn that pasta into like a button on my roadcaster.
Mm-hmm.
Thank me later.
We might actually need that.
I've been sending that pasta in every chat. Like people talk about life. I just fucking hit it. Like it's so funny. Anyways, all right, y'all. Let's go. Let's do this giveaway thing. Meanwhile, while you bring it up, Tyler, Sams, let's do it. But Tyler, you see the fear and greed index went to 10 to 36, back to 15.
Feels right. I don't know. I actually feel like fear is worse today than it was last week.
Well, because we retraced the entire fucking biggest candle in history. Like that was the first time.
People got destroyed.
Yeah,
The
I was talking to
average
Mando about this, but yeah.
The average liquidations for the last week have been.
Yeah.
I mean, you only see Bybit's real figures. We're probably talking over $1 billion every single day.
Yeah. I mean, I was telling Mando this. I was like, this is the first time. I think I was telling you guys like this first time where I was like, okay, like maybe I should be worried about this market, or like I should pay more attention about my takes on like the shorter term because that's big. It's worse.
So if you're a meme coin trader, pivot to perps.
Yeah, that's probably the worst advice ever, by the way. If you're a meme coin trader, pivot to USDC and get a job in the industry, stack up your cash, work, learn, and then fucking make your money in the next day. Go for it. That is the best advice. Get a job in the space. Literally.
Oh, Marky's back.
Marky!
Hello.
Let's go! Marky Mark, baby! I like that motherfucker. I like that guy. I like him.
You're welcome. Come on up here, Marky.
Marky. Get over here, Marky. Marky Mark, get your ass over here. I like this guy. He's a really cool dude. Where's Marky Mark?
Yeah,
Come
he
on.
won one time before. I think you were away. I think it might have been when you were in Europe last summer. He won a Sproto. So it's been a solid 6 months.
Bro, he's not here, right? Oh, is he? Oh, he's
Marky.
there. He is. This guy's leaving like really good reviews on Ethos. I'm pretty sure. If it's the Marky Mark, he's trending.
Yo.
There he is.
You're trending on Ethos Network. Look at you. You're right there, actually, next to Tyler.
Yeah. I like SocialFi a lot. We're in a bear market, so what better time?
I like that. I'm gonna drop your review at the same time. I'm gonna give you a CryptoPunk. How's that?
Let's do
I
it.
love that.
This guy rocks. Positive, awesome, and great supporter. There you go. We're gonna leave you a review on Ethos, and at the same time, we're gonna give you a CryptoPunk. You ready for that?
Man, I would love that because to be honest with you, my wife thinks that all we do in crypto is lose money. So when I won last time, she's like, finally, like, you do win money. So if I win a punk, like it would solidify to her that like
I love that.
we're not here just losing money. So
I
let's
love
do
that.
it.
I'm just fixing the box right now because a rec guy sold during the show. So let me make that 100%. Okay. So let's go. Let's also get this going. All right, Marky Mark, are you ready?
Let's do it. Tyler, everybody bless it. Come on.
All right.
Bless it. He
Come
wants
on,
the
Marky.
blessing. Well, you win a red guy. Congrats,
Hey.
Marky.
We'll
That's a
take it.
nice one. That's a nice one. Red guys
That
are
is a nice one.
congratulations. Red guys are cheap now, so I've been going like I'm putting like nice red guys up for grabs so that when the market turns around, people can have nice red guys that they own. So congratulations, Marky Mark. Thank you for being a cool supporter, dude. Appreciate you.
Hey, we take it. Thank you guys for doing this on a daily basis. You guys provide amazing feedback and amazing stuff for the space. So appreciate you guys.
There you go. Have a good one, Marky Mark. And with that, I will see y'all tomorrow, hopefully with some better juju, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the episode of FOMO Hour on Rug Radio. Let's go.